All right. So we are in positive real estate talk today with
Yes.
Tracie Schmidt with Supreme Lending and the one and only.
Heather Jones with eXp Realty here in Corona. Hi,
And we're
Tracy.
ready to keep it light today, right?
Yes, light, short, and sweet. Just wanted to uplift everybody today.
Yeah. So let's start just because I like when you give the little market update. I'm always curious,
Yeah,
what that looks like. And then we'll get into some positive words of encouragement for those home buyers and sellers out there in the market still.
that sounds awesome to me. Thank you again for your
Yeah.
time on this. So, hey, everybody. So, my little quick Corona market update. We have 231 homes on the market active for sale. So that number is pretty much staying steady, or like low to mid 200s, the last few weeks at least. We have 45 homes priced under that 670,000 mark. And if you didn't watch the last couple of weeks, I am tracking that 670,000 mark because that is the price point to be able to put 3.5% down and still stay within the loan limits for Riverside County.
Good job.
Thanks. So I just like to track that for people.
Yeah.
Currently, we have 215 homes in Corona in escrow. Awesome. And in the last 30 days, we have sold, not we, but the city of Corona has closed 185 homes. I always like to dig a little bit deeper and look at the price points of these homes and what has sold under list price, what has sold at list price and above. So of those 185 homes, only 29 sold for under list price.
Wow.
We're talking 15% is selling under list price and 85%, just like last week, is still selling at or above list price.
And those numbers, just the message to sellers, right? If people are curious and wondering, like, is now the good time, or should I sell? Should I not sell? What's happening? Is there anything that you normally tell someone that's just even thinking about selling their home, with that information?
Yeah. So, it's my job to, just like it's your job to help guide and educate our clients. So I am out there having that conversation about the market shift.
Yeah.
I have, a seller currently in escrow. I have a listing going live today, and I have a buyer actively looking. So I'm working with various clients, and the sellers that we are getting ready to go to market. I did have that conversation with them about the market shifting, and they may not get the 50 to 100,000 over asking price.
Right.
Maybe it's 5, 10, 15,000 over asking price, or maybe it's asking price.
Yeah.
So I am having those conversations. I'm honestly just being really real with my clients, and
you have to be.
My clients are all well informed of what's happening in the market. They're not coming to me completely clueless. So they do know that interest rates took a hike. They do know what's going on in the world, which definitely, I think, kind of taints people's minds a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I know you and I talk about it. It's really discouraging sometimes going through every day with all the negativity in the world.
Yeah. And the way that I try to, because obviously buying a home is a huge financial expense for someone. And, on average, people keep the same mortgage for an average of like 2 to 5 years. Right. And so what I also like to do for people is, if they've owned a home before, look at that history and say, well, look, you refinanced here and you refinanced here, and then you sold and you bought here. So, what I try to get people to understand is, it's just what you're comfortable with, right? There's still houses that are going to be on the market. It's what your payment comfort is. It's the amount of money that you have, and it's being ready, like we talked about, because the minute the house of your dreams goes on the market, it's still competitive, where you want to be ready and you want to get that offer, with Heather submitted as soon as possible and as strong as possible. And it's a good thing that you don't have to come up with an extra 50 grand as a buyer over asking, right? Now, for a seller, of course, that's a negative, but for a buyer, the negative is higher interest rates. So there's always a give and take, right? There's always a positive and negative, regardless of what side you're on, whether you're selling or if you're buying. So it's just keeping people it was such an anomaly of how fast rates went up and how much homes appreciated, where if you look at really the average over time, we were just in this whole different world, right? That we have to kind of slowly get used to the normalcy of what our lives usually are as a real estate agent, and a mortgage lender. So get your most positive message out there to everybody that's watching right now. What can you say to them?
To go real quick though,
Yeah.
to get back on what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
I literally just filmed a video this week. I'm going to be posting it here soon.
Okay.
But I was looking at some of the stats from the 90s. Yeah. And looking at, I think it was October of 1993 to December of 94. Interest rates went, if I'm remembering my numbers correctly, in the 2s to the 9s.
Yeah.
But homes still appreciated by 8% that year. Right. So there's still, I want to just put it out there that there's still people that are going to need to sell and want to sell. Mm-hmm. And there's still people that are going to need to buy and want to buy. Absolutely. And we are just here to guide them along and walk alongside that process. Yeah. I was reading a quote earlier this week about worrying, and, a lot has happened this week that has really hit my heart in particular as a young mom of young children. So my heart goes out to all of those families. Yeah. But the quote is, worrying does not take tomorrow's troubles away. It takes away today's peace. So that can go for anything going on in your life. But if we correlate it to real estate in particular, with the interest rates increasing, don't worry, because everything will work out if buying a home or selling a home is in your plan.
And with anything, I always say, control what you can control. And you can't control inflation. You can't control interest rates. You can't control homes appreciating. You can't control someone that does that in a school, unfortunately. What you can control is the conversations you have with your kids and being kind to people and educating yourself and working with people. I'd have to say too, like us, that aren't going to pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do. It's about you, and it's about what you're comfortable with, and, just giving you kind of that peace of mind that it's still okay and fun to buy and sell real estate. So hopefully that good message has come across to you guys today. So anything you want to end with?
No, I mean, just to add to that. We are non-pressure. I had a buyer just today get an offer accepted, and there was a lot of second thoughts for various reasons happening. But it's not my job to pressure her, and nor do I want them to spend as much money as you would spend on a home. This is the biggest investment of your life. Right. Want you to feel comfortable and excited, and it's just a very exciting thing to buy a house. So we're here to just kind of keep everything moving along and guide you and educate you about what's happening in the market and the industry, and just kind of guide you to make the best decision for you and your families.
Yes. And if you agree, when you're watching this, hit the little thumbs up or the little heart, or shoot us a comment. And if there's anything that you want us to talk about on these calls, I think, and maybe we could kind of pose that, in a question when we post things, is let us know. We would love to, specifically answer questions, or if there's a topic maybe that someone's curious about that we can address, just on a few minutes like this, to try to help people. I would love to do that. So.
Yeah, I would love to hear some feedback from our audience. That way we can address what people are looking for.
Perfect. Well, have an amazing home buying and selling day, week, year, forever. Yes. It's always going to be good. And I appreciate your time again, Heather.
Absolutely. And I just want to encourage everybody to stay positive and if you need anything.
Awesome. Bye.
Thanks, Tracie.
Welcome. Bye.